So thank you guys for coming out. I'm super excited to be able to do this. It's the first time I'm doing this, but I just want to let you guys know a little bit about me from the beginning. So my name is Garcia Jr. Right now I'm a theater teacher at Moody High School. This is my Yes, I teach theater at Moody High School. I graduated with my Bachelor of Arts in Theater at Texas A&M University in Corpus Christi. I started theater in middle school, I think, doing like small little plays in school and small little skits we would do, and then in high school it started to get more serious, and I was like, oh, I really like to do this, I find it very fun. And so for college, I knew that that's what I wanted to do, so I wanted to go in for theater. And I went in primarily for acting and directing, which would have been just the performance track. And so my idea was that I wanted to be a performer, and that's what I wanted to focus on. Then I found the love for teaching, and I found the love for telling other people about theater and watching their eyes, widen and getting to experience theater for the first time. So that was my new passion, and it's been awesome. And I love working where I work, and I love my school and my students, and this is just a cherry on top, is getting to help other people really experience what it is to have a good audition and have a confident audition, because that's the biggest thing, is just feeling confident with your audition. So first things first, I want to preface with whatever I say today is just coming from my experience as an actor and as a teacher, and the education I've received and the experiences I've had. So you guys can take what you want from it. If you guys disagree with it, totally understandable, totally fine. But it's up to you guys what you want to take from that, because at the end of the day, there's going to be so many different opinions on what's right to do and what's wrong to do in an audition. And it's just whatever you feel most comfortable with, whatever you feel is going to best showcase you as a person. Because that's what you're doing. I mean, with an audition, you are selling who you are. I'm selling myself as an actor. I'm selling my abilities and my performance. And that's what you're trying to do, is get them to realize that you're an investment and they should invest in you. And that's super important to understand from the get-go. So I want to talk to you guys first and foremost about overall attitude and respect. And that's attitude towards the audition, the auditioner, and the auditionees. And that's something that I feel gets lost in the process, is that we forget that what attitude we bring into the room, what attitude we bring into ourselves, that's going to affect what our audition looks like. Our community of theater, our theater community is small, and that's not just in Corpus, that's in the world. Everybody is somebody, somehow. There's people connected. I have friends that live in New York, and I have friends who live in LA, and somehow they're friends with each other without me being a middleman. And it's just because our community is so small. So the attitude that we carry ourselves with, and the attitude we carry ourselves with as actors, it carries into what other people see you as and how other people see you. So the attitude we bring into our audition and the attitude we approach getting ready for an audition, it's gonna, at the end, tell how it's gonna go, It might not say what part you get, it might not say where the audition goes for you, but it'll say how you felt about the audition and what other people can think about you. And the last one is respect, holding respect for yourself, holding respect for our art. And I appreciate that you guys came out to do this, because auditions, even if you're auditioning for community theater, if you're auditioning for, a theater that has 5 people that run it and it's in somebody's basement, it has to be taken seriously. Because theater is a dying art. We lose that idea of, the only way that theater is going to thrive is if you're on Broadway. You need to be on Broadway to get, the highest level of theater. That's not true. Theater is alive and well, all aspects. And if we treat every part of theater with respect that it deserves, we can grow as a community, and the community can grow together because we treat it with respect. We help it to flourish. So just approaching this with respect, approaching it with a good attitude, will help everything to grow, you as an actor and as the art itself. So, research. So the first thing you want to do is you want to research your show. You want to research what you're auditioning for. So the show that you're auditioning for, there's so many different aspects that are important to pay attention to. One of them is characters and their relationships. So when you're looking at a show, and you're looking at, let's use an example. So if we're talking about Shrek, we're talking about Shrek musical. How can I research the characters? How can I research the relationship of the characters in the show? So we've got Shrek, we've got Fiona, we've got Donkey, we've got Pinocchio, we've got all these wide variety of characters that are important, and they each have a relationship with each other. So if we're able to understand the character, we're able to understand the attitude and the way that they hold themselves, and that'll help us to choose our pieces that we're gonna audition with. So understanding the characters and the relationship, understanding time and setting. If I'm auditioning for My Fair Lady, I wouldn't consider the same audition pieces if I was considered for School of Rock. They're completely different times and settings. So it's super important to know when your play is taking place, when your show is taking place. The genre of the show, same thing. We've got classical era musicals, we've got rock musicals, we've got contemporary musicals. Research them. I mean, just a little, Google search on a musical. There's so many different websites that'll just pop it open for you, and it'll help you to understand where to go when you're looking for your musical pieces and you're looking for your acting pieces. The music and vocal ranges. So many times people, will look at a show and they're gonna say, I want to do this part, I want to do this part. But they don't take into consideration where that character's vocal range lies. And those are super easy to look up to. If you just type in the show, let's say, since we're talking about shows coming up, so Mamma Mia musical. If you type it in, it'll show you all the characters, it'll show you their age breakdown, it'll show you their vocal ranges. If you know that your vocal range probably doesn't lie in there, then consider that when you're auditioning for that role, or consider the other roles that you could audition for that your voice does lie in. At the end of the day, you want to be confident in yourself and in your audition. So why would, not to keep you from auditioning for those parts, but consider that. Consider that when you're throwing yourself out there. I would consider auditioning for Cirque du Soleil because I know I can't do gymnastics, I can't do, aerial acts. But I know what my skills are, and I know where my skills lie, and if I audition myself, then I know what I can audition for. So please, that's super, super important, is to consider where the character's vocal range lies. Research the theater and the auditions. We have, several community theaters here. There's so many different places that have different ways that they hold their auditions, and they have different ways that they hold their productions. Here at Harvard Playhouse, they have a set way that they have auditions. And if you go to the Harvard Playhouse website, you can see how auditions are held and what is required in auditions. And it's super important that you do that before you look for anything, because you can get stuck on a song and you can say, oh, I love this, it's 32 bars, it's 32 measures, this is perfect, I love this song. And then you click the website and it says 16 measure song. And you have to cut it, and you have to understand that these are run a certain way for efficiency, they're run a certain way for everybody to get fairness and equality in their audition. So research your theater and your auditions. What else is required at the audition? So you want to look up the music, how many bars the music needs to be, what you should wear. Some auditions, you have it where you do dance, voice, and acting on the same day. You're in there for an hour, but for each one, you do it all on the same day. That should help you figure out what your attire should be. If it's not, if you're not having a dance audition and it's just voice and acting, take that into consideration on what you should wear. Headshots, you need to have headshots for your auditions. Community theaters, most of the time, you don't need headshots, but so to keep that in mind. If they're requiring a headshot with my audition sheet, I need to bring that in. If this is something also to note, if they're not requiring headshots, there's a possibility that they will take your picture there. Keep that in mind when you're getting ready. If you're a male who has facial hair and you know that you're auditioning for a younger role, maybe it's a good idea to take away the facial hair. Or if you're a male who's trying to audition for an older role and you're a younger guy, then maybe you want to have a mustache, or you maybe want to have some stubble. It's important to understand that just because they didn't ask for a headshot doesn't mean that they're not going to take a picture of you. What shows have they produced before at this audition or at theater? What shows have they done before? Do they do big musicals? Do they do really small musicals? Is it a studio theater? A studio theater would be like this one, a little block. Or is it a proscenium theater like we have as the main stage in Harvard, which is where the proscenium is where there's one audience side. So it's important to understand that and know what kind of shows are done there. Not every theater will fit every actor. And that's something that is not a problem. Some people feel more comfortable with certain theaters, some people don't feel comfortable with other theaters. That is completely fine. Not every theater will fit every actor. We aren't all cookie cutter actors. Everybody brings something else from their experience, everybody brings something else from their lives. So it's important to know what you're getting into when you're auditioning for a theater. Know your demographics. If you are auditioning for a show that needs a specific race or it needs a specific gender, of course it comes down to the director, but it's good to know, okay, are there these demographics around here? If it's community theater, I wouldn't audition for a 70-year-old male typically, because I know that there will be older men there. So it's important to know the age demographic and the racial demographic of your area. Now, so we're moving on to preparing for the audition. So when you're picking your music, picking your song, that comes down to the genre again. Boys tend to, they honestly typically stray away from picking a female song, and females picking a male song. They don't want to see too much of you out of the box. They want to see you showcasing in your usual vocal type. When you're picking your song, know your range. If you're an alto, don't pick a song that goes to a high C, just because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're not showcasing the best of your abilities. And not to say pick on the safe side, but pick a side that you can tell the story effectively and you can tell the auditioner or the director what you can bring. So don't pick something that stays up here the whole song. Pick something that highlights those high parts and those low parts of your voice, but it still tells a story. At the end of the day, when you're picking your song, you want to show them that you are an actor that can tell a story with your song. Cutting your song. When you're cutting your song, don't just choose just the first part of the song or the end of the song. Find the part that highlights the best part of that song and highlights the best part of your voice. So if you're cutting a song that has 8 bars of just piano, you're going to be left with 8 bars of you singing, and that's not fair to you. So find a good intro for the pianist. You want to pick something that's not only helpful to you, you want to pick something that's helpful to your accompanist. Because at the end of the day, your accompanist more than likely is your music director. And if they're not your music director, they're probably hand in hand with your music director. So how you handle yourself with the accompanist is how you're handling your audition, how you're going to handle yourself throughout the whole thing. Preparing for dance. It's important to know what shoes to wear. A lot of times, girls there are going to ask that you guys wear character shoes or character heels. If you don't have character heels, wear a heel that is just maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, but it's a nice thick heel. You don't want to wear anything that's too thin that you can't dance in, but at the same time, you don't necessarily always want to dance in flat shoes like Converse or even flats, or open-toed shoes would probably be the worst choice in this. But know what shoes you need to wear, and just in case, pack extra. If you think that you might need jazz shoes, but you might need character shoes, pack up. And at the end of the day, you will come prepared, and that's what's important. What clothes you need to wear. They usually are looking for people that they want to see what your body can do when it moves. So it's best to pick clothing that is fitted and not too loose. I know that a lot of people may feel uncomfortable with dancing, and so they're going to choose a larger shirt or larger pants so that they can feel comfortable. But at the end of the day, when you're auditioning for dance, they want to see your body and what it does with that style. A lot of times really baggy clothes, even this sweater would be too baggy because you can't show the movement when the clothing is hiding it underneath. So know what clothes you need to wear. And the biggest part that will help all of this is study the style of dance. A lot of musicals have a specific style of dance. A lot of genres have a specific style of dance. If we were doing Sweet Charity, the musical, that's Fosse. We already know Fosse is big hands, so yeah, so big old hands. So that's something that if you already go into the audition knowing that, you're one step ahead of the game because you've done your research. And that's what a lot of people forget. A lot of times there's people who will use the same song for every audition, no matter what the musical is, no matter what the show is, they are using the same song because they love this song. And that's fine. If it showcases their voice, that's fine. But you are not helping yourself to stand out. You're not helping yourself to be the best that you can be in this instance. And though some people may feel like, oh, well, why are you, theater shouldn't be competitive. This is like an interview. It's a job interview. Just like if you were interviewing for a job, you wouldn't want to wear the same clothing over and over and over again. You would want to, update. You would want to, research the job, research what they're looking for so that when they ask you a question, you know the answer. It's the same thing. Auditions are interviews. We are trying to land a job. The last thing, acting, how to prepare for the acting. If there are monologues required, it will tell you in the audition form or the audition poster or social media post, it'll tell you what you should have required. So if you need monologues, what styles are required? Sometimes it'll be one classical monologue, one contemporary monologue. It's super important to follow what instructions have been given to you. A lot of people will choose to, I'm just going to do one monologue and I'm not going to do the other one. But you disobeying the post and what it's asked of you is already saying, I do not follow direction well. I did not read the whole post. And that's not anything you want to ever put yourself out as during an audition. You want to avoid internet monologues and film monologues. So if you type in monologues for women and the first link, that's probably the worst link to look at. Even though it's the most visited, it's probably the most overused. So you don't want to look at internet monologues or film monologues. So the best way to do that is to research. Start reading different plays, start asking around for friends that might have a cutting of a monologue or might have a monologue they like to use. Those are super important to know, is that you don't want to take the road that's traveled by the most. I completely messed up that quote, but you know what I mean. Yes. You want to find similarities in the acting styles to the show you're auditioning for. So if you know that your show is a comedy, you don't want to pick, A Poem by Edgar Allan Poe. It's probably not going to help you in this instance. So know similarities in acting styles. Know your slate. A lot of auditions will ask you for a slate, which is your name and your pieces. If you don't know the name of your piece, or you don't know that person who wrote your piece, it's something so simple, and without it, it's so embarrassing, because it says, I learned this piece, but I don't know who it's by, or I know this piece, but I don't know what it's called, and it shows a lack of preparedness. It shows a lack of you not being able to know exactly what you need to do to be prepared for this. Research your audition pieces, know your script. I know a lot of people who will read an audition piece and they're like, I nailed it, it's awesome. And it's like, it was funny. Yeah, but that's a sad moment. That's a sad moment in the play. If you read the play, you know that, he just got a divorce with his wife. He's crying throughout that piece. And people will interpret it differently if they don't know the actual piece completely. If there are sides provided or cold reads, meaning that you're going to come in and they're just going to give you the piece and you'll read it right then and there with a partner, know the script already, so know relationships. Who am I related to? Who am I in love with? Who do I hate? Because the worst thing you can do is not know your relationship and you play the opposite. That's you not being prepared for your audition. So we have prepared for our audition, we have picked our pieces, we have everything ready. It's the day of the audition. So the first thing you want to make sure that you do is you get a good night's rest before. I have a lot of, when I was in college, I had a lot of friends who were, stressed about the audition and they didn't sleep at all. And so they come in and they've got, puffy eyes and they look scraggly and they're yawning the whole time. That doesn't sell yourself well immediately. Avoid alcohol and be drinking tons of water at least 2 days before your auditions. Hydration is super important to your voice and it's super important to your energy. And alcohol will only dehydrate you and it'll make your vocal cords shot for the day. And it's not fun. So if you know you have an audition the next day, just avoid alcohol, and just drinking water in general is a plus. So just be drinking tons of water. It's going to help. A lot of times when we get nervous, our neck tenses up and our vocal cords tense up. So if we're drinking water and we're making sure that we're hydrated, we avoid that ever happening. Practice good hygiene and be prepared. I like to pack deodorant, mints, and towel with me. I'm a sweater. I get sweaty even if I'm like doing something non-strenuous. Sometimes I'll just start sweating because I'm nervous. Especially for that dance audition, it's nice to have a towel nearby where you can, pat yourself off so that you're not dripping everywhere. Deodorant and mints. The reason I include those is because if you feel like, oh man, I had a stinky lunch and I can smell it on me, or oh my god, I forgot to put deodorant on before I left home, you're already losing confidence in yourself, and you're going to be worried about the wrong thing, which is you and your hygiene. That should be the least amount of your worries. So just practicing that will make sure that everything goes well. Have a good, healthy meal. If your audition is in the noontime, have it for breakfast. If it's in the evening, have it for breakfast and lunch. You don't want to feel sluggish. The worst thing you can have is fast food right before you go and audition, and then you start the dance audition and you feel sluggish. Your energy is not going to be where it needs to be. So have a good, healthy meal before your audition. Have your bag packed with everything you'll need. A lot of times you think you don't need it, but you probably need it. So pack extra shoes, pack that extra pair of tights. Girls, if you are auditioning for a role or any show that might have, skirts as a main part, maybe pack a belly skirt or pack a skirt that you can slip over tights just to help yourself in that instance. Pack water and a small snack. I've been at auditions that last the whole day, and you're there from noon till 9 p.m. at night. So you don't want to be hungry, but you also don't want to leave the audition to go get something to eat. So have that small snack and be ready. Know the audition, know how the audition will run and how to dress. Exercise early in the day, stay warm, and take your vitamins. So when we are exercising, that same breathing technique is the same breathing technique we need to project, the same breathing technique we need on stage. So if you I found it a lot more helpful if I exercise in the day. I feel that my voice is more ready because I've allowed more oxygen to go into my body, and I think my muscles are more ready. It's so bad to go and wake up and then go straight to the audition that you're not warm, your body won't be warm, and you can pull something, and then you're already saying, I'm injured, please don't consider me. It hurts yourself. So exercise early in the day, and especially in this weather where we're in the cold, stay warm. You can get sick just because you didn't wear that jacket, or you can get sick just because you didn't put, something on your head or a scarf. So stay warm throughout. So you're right into the audition. So you packed all your stuff, you have everything ready, you had a good healthy meal, you're right into the audition. Your audition starts right when you walk in the door. Right when you walk in, your audition starts. That's something people will always forget. They think, oh, my audition doesn't start until I walk in the theater, or my audition doesn't start until I see the director. In community theater, everybody is crucial to the show. So, or the director will ask other people, what did you think of the audition? What did you think of this? They might ask their stage manager or their music director. So be respectful and courteous to everyone you meet, especially the people who you're auditioning with. The worst thing you can do is glare. This doesn't really happen with older adults or even adults, but it happens a lot in college and it happens a lot in high school students. So if we can lead by example, it's even better to just be courteous and respectful. Introduce yourself. If you feel like you work better when you seclude yourself, that is fine. I know that I like to kind of get in my own headspace by kind of, putting in my audition sheet, getting my number, and going and finding a small area where I can just get into the right headspace where I can think about my pieces and think about what I need to be ready for. Don't overwork yourself on your material. That's something that I'm very guilty of, is that I keep looking at my song, or I keep looking at my monologue, or I'm in the corner practicing my monologue. When our nerves get the best of us, we doubt ourselves, but we also doubt what we know. So we'll start to question, oh, is that the word? No, I don't think that's the word. Oh, what was this? Be confident that you put in the work to be ready for this. Drink water. Keep drinking water. Even when you're there at the audition, don't stop drinking water. You should be having at least 8 sips of water an hour. So just keep sipping your water. Use the restroom before you go into your audition. Confidence is what you have to offer that will carry you far. So the confidence that you have done all your work, the confidence that you have done your research and you have prepared your pieces, that's what's going to carry you far. It's not going to be your talent. It's not going to be necessarily relationships with the people that are auditioning you. It's what you have done to prepare yourself. So many times people are depending on, oh, well, I know the director. They're going to have what I have to bring. And they use the same audition piece they always use. And that's where we lose the respect for the art, because we didn't try. We stopped trying to stand out. We stopped trying to better ourselves. And that's what we should always be doing, is bettering ourselves for our auditions. So the audition. So music and acting. Your slate. As soon as you get onto the stage, as soon as you're walking either up the steps or across the stage, your director is looking at you, looking at your audition. So carry yourself with poise and grace, and get to the middle of the stage and be ready when they say they're ready. Most of the time you'll talk to the companies first, so go and greet yourself. Hello. My name is blah, blah, blah. This is the piece I'm doing. Never snap your beat for them. Never say, this is how it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sing a little bit for them. Or they'll ask you, can you sing a little bit for me? And you just sing it for them quietly. They'll get the beat. They'll tell you anything else they need. Show them your pet. I'm going to start here, and go all the way through, and I'm going to stop on this measure. Don't just assume. I've seen people who will go and say, this is my pet. Thank you. And they'll walk away, and the pianist is staring at it, not knowing what to read. Walk them through it. Don't ever dumb down anybody you're talking to, especially your companies. They're going to be the one who's helping you. They're going to help you through your piece. At the same time, your companies will follow you through your singing piece. So don't wait for them to speed up your piece. If you know your piece needs to be a little bit faster than maybe the accompanist is going, maybe there's some miscommunication, start to sing a little faster and they will follow you. So the accompanist is following what you give to them. Body language. The way you walk onto the stage, the way you're standing ready to start your slate is still part of your audition. So the worst thing you can do is be pacing, or have your arms crossed, or have your arms behind your back. Be relaxed, be calm, hold yourself tall, and be ready, smiling. That's one of the best things. Is a lot of people smile is the thing that brightens up the room and brightens up them. So continue to smile. When the director is ready, they will let you know. Deliver your slate with confidence and with ease. Don't angrily yell your slate. I have a friend who tends to yell their slate just because they're a loud person, but it always comes off as like they're just yelling. So know where your slate needs to be. Have confidence and have ease throughout your whole audition. At the end, always give a good thank you and walk off. If you know that you have a resting angry face, is what we're going to say. If you know you have a resting angry face, work on eliminating that, even if it's for your audition. The worst thing to go, thank you, and walk off. You tell them that you're mad and something went wrong, work on that. Also, never blame others for your audition not going a certain way. If your accompanist is going slow, the worst thing you can do is look at them during the audition and glare, or look at them and help them. At that point, you're already in your audition. So just like if I was in an interview, I wouldn't, get angry at the person who held the door open for me. That's not important. I'm in an interview. So that's the same thing. Don't ever glare at them, because that already says that you're hard to work with and that you're not a happy person and nobody wants to cast a person that's not happy. So we finish our music and our acting audition, and we move on to dance. So when you're dancing, you need to always get to where you can see. I've been in auditions with 60, 70 people auditioning for a dance audition. And it's hard. You're in the back and you can't see. If you need to, go to a far corner, go to the sides, and focus on whatever the choreographer is giving to you. So focus on what they want you to be paying attention to. Avoid talking. I've had friends who come in and they audition together and they talk. And say, oh, what was that? I missed that. It's nobody's fault. You're wrong because you were not focusing. So avoid talking at all costs and get to where you can see the choreographer. Ask questions. The worst thing you can think is assume that you got it, even though you're doubting yourself. Ask the question. A lot of times a choreographer would rather you get their dance correct than you to assume that it went a certain way. Pay attention to details. If the choreographer says your hands are flat and wide out, give them flat and wide out. Those are details they're looking for. Smile or don't smile. When you're dancing, nobody wants to see an angry dancer, but at the same time, you're doing a dance that is supposed to be, grounded and strong. You don't want to be like that, because it doesn't play off well. So know whether you're supposed to be smiling or not. At the end of the day, the most important thing with any of these auditions is your enthusiasm always trumps talent. Somebody who is talented but has a bad attitude and doesn't prepare themselves will not go as far as somebody who, is new, but they have enthusiasm, they've done the research, they've done the work, and they're ready to come on out. So enthusiasm is always over talent, and in the dance audition specifically, fake till you make it. If you do not know, there's been plenty of times where I'm ready, but my nerves get the best of me, and I completely lose the last, 10 seconds of the dance. Try your best. Smile, don't give up. I've seen people who just walk off. Or I've seen people who throw a fit and they just stop where they are. That's not anything that anybody wants to see. Fake it till you make it. So, our audition's complete. We've gone through all our preparation. We've gone through the audition. We're complete for the day. Callbacks. So we're at callbacks. So if you were called for a callback, that's awesome. If you weren't, do not be concerned. Sometimes they're able to cast just by looking at you in your audition. But if you are called back, be prepared. Make sure you know the story. Make sure you know the relationships. Create connection between who you are reading with. So many times people they'll say, okay, you and you're going to read this scene. Go off to the side and go with that scene. And they hate each other, or they don't even try to get to know each other. Chemistry between actors is so important, and if they can see that you can create it in 2 minutes, then they can see that you create that chemistry with other people as well. Always be courteous and respectful. We, especially in community theater or in smaller theaters, we get caught up in the drama of auditions, the drama of who is auditioning and who is getting called back. Be courteous and respectful to everyone there at the audition. If you have issues with people, mend them, or be courteous and move on, because the worst thing you can do is bring negativity in. We've done callbacks, we've waited a few days, the cast list goes up. If your name is on the list, the hard work begins. This is where it starts. You start putting in all the work that you prepared yourself for. The most important thing is to honor your commitment. If you have said you will be there for the rehearsals, be there for the rehearsals. You don't want to be late, you don't want to be missing more than what you've already allowed them to know that you will be missing for, because your audition doesn't stop there. How you do in this show will determine what other people think of you. So quickly, your attitude and your reputation follow you. I know many people who don't get cast in shows anymore because of how they behaved in a show, or because of how they behaved with the people they work with. So you always have to carry through the attitude and respect for yourself and for who you're working with. Bring enthusiasm and drive, don't let it die down, and eliminate any negativity or drama. If your name is not on the list, the hard work continues. You still can continue to bring that enthusiasm and drive. Don't give up, don't stop auditioning, keep researching, keep reading more plays, keep reading up on musicals, keep listening to different songs, different genres. Continue to do your research. The more research you have, the more you have in your actor's school belt. That's something that will always carry with you. You don't lose that. So continue to do your research. Handle yourself with grace and poise, and choose words wisely when posting on social media. And that goes on any aspect. If you get the part, choose your words wisely. At the end of the day, there's somebody who might not have gotten the part. And you being negative with how you write, or being cocky about how you write your posts, it can hurt someone's feelings. So choose your words with grace and poise. So wrapping everything up, I hope you guys can continue to push through the education of what you have prepared for your audition. And that goes researching shows you know that you'll never audition for. It's still important to know them, know the backgrounds of them. Eliminate negativity, not only in the drum world, but in your life. A lot of times you're preparing for an audition, there's other things going on around your life. Do your best to eliminate that, because a lot of times that's what's going to hold you down. You're worried about all this other stuff. You're worried about work and home and relationships, and it keeps you from focusing on what you're trying to do, which is you're trying to land this job. And a lot of times theater is the outlet, for that kind of activity. Theater is that place to escape from it. So just like you're using it to escape from that, leave it at the door. Don't bring it in with you, because that's not what you're trying to show your director. You're trying to show them that I can do this. I can do this job. So now we're going to do a small question, Q&A. If anybody has any questions, if anybody has any comments through the Facebook Live, if anybody has anything that they'd like to add on anything that I might have covered.
I have a question.
Yes.
So if you're auditioning for a certain role, you know the role, and you know that particular song that character sings, do you use that song, or would you choose something?
So, and that's something that I forgot to mention, that's super important. So a lot of times directors will ask that you completely stray away from the show. So like, don't audition with their song, and don't come in what they're wearing. A lot of times people will show up dressed as the character they're auditioning for, They come in for any auditions and they send their daughter in a red curly wig and a red dress. That's telling the director, I know your job better than you, I know I deserve this part. And that's not what the director wants to see. They want to be able to place you into that role. And they want to see you and what you are without the wig, without the song. What can you bring to the table? But if the best thing to do in that instance is find a song that maybe shows something of that character, or shows something of that show. This is starting from my experience. I auditioned for Gomez Adams, and I knew that he was a Hispanic character, so I chose a song from Lolita, because there's, I can bring that Spanish from that show to Gomez Adams, and that was my audition piece. So find a song that would showcase that character and still showcase you, but not you as that character, if that makes sense. Yes?
From online, what are the main differences in a community theater audition and a university/professional audition?
The main difference would be sometimes the education of the people. Some people are graduates of theater that audition and professional audition, and they all are graduated from the same degree. But at the end of the day, there is no difference. And I think that's what we mess up. We think, oh, with the community theater, I don't have to try as hard. I mean, who else is going to audition, or who else is going to fit that part? And that's the worst thing we can do, because you already are disrespecting the art. So every audition should be treated with the utmost respect. Every audition should be treated professionally, because you are not talking about the theater or the difference of the theaters, you're talking about yourself. So if you say, I'm not going to prepare myself, you are saying that you as an actor and as your work ethic, you are not prepared. So always hold it with the most respect. Anybody else? All right. So I hope this is something that you guys can take something from. There's so many other aspects of audition preparation that I'm probably missing, but these are the ones that were the most important to me. At the end of the day, it's eliminating negativity, holding yourself and the art with respect, and preparation. How are you going to prepare yourself for your pieces? Yeah, that's it. Awesome.